Well, hi, everybody. We're back in the kitchen today. And what we wanted to share with you is how we use the Vitamix. Uh, we'll call it blender magic. I mean, the things we do with this blender, and Vitamix is our go-to for a blender. We had other blenders for a long time. We were so impressed when we got a Vitamix. Now, this was years and years ago. Vitamix was kind of the only high-speed, high-powered blender out there. There's some other good brands out there now too that have equally powerful, fast motors that can really do the work that a Vitamix does. So Vitamix isn't the only way to go, but what we're showing you is what a high-speed blender can do. And you can use regular blenders, the Oster blenders and some of the others, but we have a little Ninja Bullet that we travel with, because when we travel, we like to have our smoothies. We like to, eat the way we like to eat on the road. And we will travel with a Ninja Bullet. And we'll make our smoothies in the morning, and there's a noticeable difference between the work that a Vitamix can do and the Ninja Bullet. But, everything has its place. We're going high speed today. So we're going to show you a number of things that we do that we feel both saves us money, because whenever you buy the commercial processed foods, you're paying for them to do the work. When you're making it out of your own ingredients, most of which you buy in the bulk section, you're saving money. And the other is that we feel it's a much better product because it's fresh. One of the things is like what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you a non-dairy milk, and I'm going to fortify it. And so to fortify it, I want some omega-3s in there. And usually, if someone's making a smoothie or doing something with flax, it'll be ground flax. Well, when you grind the flax, when you break that seed, those nutrients are exposed to the air, to the oxygen. They start to oxidize. So the nutrient value starts to degrade. So when we make our nut milks in that, we don't use, or our smoothies or most anything else, when we're using the Vitamix, we don't use ground flax. We use the whole flax. Now, the reason you don't want to take in whole flax is because our digestive system can't break that seed coat, so all those good omega-3s never get in our system. But when we make the nut milk with the whole flax seed, it grinds the flax instantly. So we're like making ground flax at the same time we're making our nut milk. So we do have some ground flax in the fridge. So we refrigerate that flax after we've ground it, so that slows that oxidation process. Another thing that we use this for, kind of like grinding the flax, is we do a full Parmesan cheese that we like on our pasta dishes. And so I'm going to make that for you now. And so I guess I'll mention too that the ground flax that's in our fridge, we grind that. We don't buy it off the shelf because that means it was ground who knows when. And they seal it up well, which is good. But still, the ground flax that's in our fridge, we know it's relatively freshly ground. So that's the point there. Simple, full Parmesan cheese recipe. Quarter cup cashews, quarter cup sesame seeds. If you want to make this flavor a little richer, you can roast your cashews and sesame seeds. I don't take the time. Half a cup nutritional yeast and a quarter teaspoon of caraway seeds and a quarter teaspoon of anise or fennel seeds. Now, this recipe is on the website, so you don't need to be taking notes. You can get it there. And that's it. We put it in and we just whir it up for like 20, 30 seconds. Now I said 20 or 30 seconds because I was thinking about ground flax and that. That was only 10 seconds. And I only do this for 10 seconds because I like a little bit of chunk left from the cashews, so that it has kind of that, like the old Parmesan days. The Parmesan was not real fine, it was kind of grated. So this gives us a little bit of chunk in the Parmesan. So there we have it. Now, was that quick or what? Okay, in she goes. Let's see if I can get it to go in. Save this. You know what I'm gonna put in the bowl just so I don't have to take the time to be careful. And I'll put it in that bottle after. There we go. That's, you don't want to have to spend your time watching me put something in a little bottle. Now, when I do this, the real finely ground stuff tends to stick a little bit. So I use a chopstick just to loosen it up, break it up and get everything out of there. So there you have it, full Parmesan. Now, when we have a little bit left in the Vitamix, if it's dry like that, we typically don't wash the Vitamix. We're fine with adding that to the next smoothie or seed dressing or whatever we're doing next. So that's our full Parmesan cheese. Okay, next process, date paste. So again, if you buy commercial date paste, you're paying somebody to do the work. And I look at it and go, that's kind of expensive. So we make our own date paste. It's really simple. Costco has an amazing price on these organic dates. And so it really brings the cost down. So this too is on our website. I'm going to make it up with a cup and a half of dates and 1 cup of water. I usually make a little bit more. I'm thinking that this will be enough to let the Vitamix work. So sometimes if you don't have enough liquid and volume in the blender, it just kind of throws everything to the sides and whirs around. So you got to have enough volume. So I'm thinking this will be enough volume. We'll find it. Here we go. Okay, in the name of time, so you don't have to just sit there and watch this thing blend. That was 30 seconds. I typically let it run for a minute, like 60 seconds. So this one is going to have a little bit of solid dates in it still, which personally I don't mind. I use the date paste in baked goods and in smoothies and well, just about anywhere that I want to sweeten something. And the little bit of date that's still whole in here is not a problem for me. I kind of like the little bit. So this is the texture that it comes out as. When it's in the refrigerator for a while, I store it in the fridge. Let's get in the fridge for a couple of weeks. When it's been refrigerated for a little while, it gets even a little thicker than this. But right now, just fresh out of the Vitamix, it is relatively thin. Well, not thin, but saucy, like you see.
And that's good in the fridge for up to a week, huh?
Okay, well, I said 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Definitely for a week.
Good.
Okay.
And you use it in what primarily?
Well, baked goods. This is how I sweeten. I used to sweeten with stevia and quite often
Maple syrup.
maple syrup. Yeah. And when we decided to go SOS free, I wanted to get away from the processed sweeteners. And so maple syrup, stevia, agave syrup, all those things, those are quite processed. So this is just straight dates and water. So it's a lot closer to the whole food. Now it has been processed, I just processed it. But like if I do it right before I use it, it's a whole other animal. No, I shouldn't say it, whole other plant. Okay, so that's the date paste. Next is non-dairy milks. And One of the issues I've always had with like recipes with almond milk or oat milk or soy milk or whatever, I think it's great to convert from dairy. Any of you who've heard my story know that dairy was, creating so much pain in my body. And so when I met Connie and she said, well, did you ever think about dropping the dairy? I thought, well, of course not. Why would I do that? Because the professionals I was talking to, I asked them, does food have anything to do with this pain in my body? And they said, oh, no, there's nothing. Just take these supplements for these exercises, which did almost nothing. And I dropped the dairy. And within 2 weeks, it was like 60, 70% gone. 6 months, completely gone. It's never come back. So non-dairy milks. And I like a milky thing. Like if I do granola with fruit in the morning or something, I like the milk on there. But when I would buy the almond milk, I would pour the stuff on. It was kind of like water. And it didn't have any taste. And I thought, what am I paying for? So we started making our own. And the fun thing about making your own is you can get the thickness you want. You can have it thin, kind of like the old skim milk days. I never liked that, but if somebody likes it kind of watery like that, you've got that. Just changing the ratio of the water to the nuts or the seeds. I'm going to actually make a sunflower seed milk here, and I'm going to fortify it. Where do you see that? So I like a thicker milk. I mean, I used to, in my lacto-vegetarian days, buy half and half to put on my breakfast. I like it kind of thick and creamy. So I can do that when I make my own. The other thing about the commercial milks is that they filter out the fiber and all of that, which is taking nutrients out. Personally, I'm not looking to get a fiber-free milk. I'm looking to get a milky substance made out of plants. And so I'm getting so many more nutrients when I make the milk myself. So I'm going to add a half a cup of sunflower seeds. And so I'm going to make it kind of like the consistency of milk. Actually, with the fortified, it's going to get a little bit thicker because I'm adding I'm adding flax, which will be ground as I actually do the process. And that will thicken it a bit more. So I'm going to do a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 parts water to, no, this was a half cup. I'm going to do a cup and a half of water with a half a cup of seeds. It's 3-to-1, 3 parts water to 1 part seed. That gives kind of the consistency of a whole milk. If I want like a thicker, more half and half quality, that would be more like 2.5, 2.25, 2.5 cups of water to the seeds. If I want quite a bit thicker, I will do 2-to-1. That's almost saucy. Okay, so I've got the seeds in there. Then I want to put the water in. So I've got a half a cup. I'm going to add a cup and a half of water. And then I'm going to fortify it. You know, this idea of fortified milk, it's like, what's that about? Why do you need to add nutrients if it's supposed to be a good food? Well, this has a lot of good nutrients, but one of the things that we, going SOS free, going salt free, we have an interest in making sure we get plenty of iodine, because even with the best sea salt, there isn't much iodine, because that sea salt is made by evaporation. And one thing about iodine is that it evaporates easily. Iodine, let me give you a chemistry lesson real quick. Iodine is in the same family as chlorine. It's a halogen. So you know when you go to a pool, you can smell that chlorine? It's because these halogens, the chlorine and all the other elements in that family, like iodine, they go off in the air easily. So when you're drying the salt, dehydrating minerals from the salt water, the iodine goes out. So I'm going to add some kombu. This is sea vegetable. Kombu, the other one we use in our milks and our dressings if we want to add iodine, is wakame. You can use any sea vegetable. It's good for the iodine. But things like arame or hijiki or dulse, They have a stronger seaweedy flavor, so they can kind of influence the flavor of what you're making a little more. Kombu and wakame are quite mild. So there's my iodine. I'm going to add turmeric. Some of you, if you're into Ayurveda, have heard of golden milk. And the turmeric turns it yellow, turns it gold. But we know turmeric, some people almost consider it like a superfood. It's got so many good antioxidant, anti-inflammatory qualities about it. And what you want to do to get the value of the active ingredient, the curcumin that's in the turmeric, is you want to add a little pepper. And at first I was thinking, pepper in my milk, yikes, but I wanted to put it in to get the value of the turmeric I'm putting in, all the value. I think it's like almost 50% more absorption of the curcumin when you have the pepper, a little pepper with it. The other thing you need with it is a little bit of fat. And I've got that in my sunflower seeds. Okay, turmeric, pepper, ginger. This some people may not want to do this. This heats it up. This really gives it a little punch, but I like it. It's kind of a kick. I also put cinnamon in because cinnamon too, like the turmeric, is just an amazing spice in terms of the nutritional value it has. Antioxidants, I mean, it's almost a superfood too. Google it on your computer and check out benefits of cinnamon. It is amazing. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon, no, that's a tablespoon of ground flax, not ground, but whole flax, because it's going to get ground in here. This is a combination we put together by whole golden flax and whole brown flax, and we mix it together because the nutrient profile of each is a little different. So one of our mantras, as you've heard us say before, is eat a wide variety of organic, high nutrient dense whole foods. So we get the high variety or added variety by including both types of flax. Okay, so this goes in here. And that is it. Word up here. Okay, now that was 30 seconds, like I did the date paste. And with 30 seconds, it can sometimes have just a little bit of texture to it still. If you want it really, really smooth, 60 seconds, it's really there. So that's what I've got for my plant-based milk. You can see it's like a little thicker, almost like a half and half. And that was 3-to-1. But with the flax in there, it thickens it up a little bit more. Let's see, Connie's going to use that. Do you need to rinse that, sweetie?
I think we should just go into the recipe. You want me to make this?
Oh, up to you. I guess you've done, we were going to do a nut and seed dressing for you, and it's a little involved. So maybe just go over the recipe. We've been
Okay,
with them quite a while.
that was so good, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun.
Beautiful. Okay, the recipe for today is really yummy. It's a garbanzo bean carrot coleslaw with raisins and a very simple dressing, mainly apple cider vinegar and a little lemon. It's delicious. You can use it when you make it to serve 2 people a meal, or you can give smaller side dish portions and use it as part of a meal. We enjoyed it yesterday very much. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah, there you go. So one other thing that we were going to include that we use our Vitamix for quite regularly are the nut and seed dressings and also different sauces, and all those are on our website. So everything we've done here today is on our website and so much more. So enjoy.
And the website is www.amazinghealtheffortlessly.com.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.